Hello, 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 and welcome back to the Women's Rugby Show Weekly podcast with me, Sam. By the way, we are back again with episode 6. This week, we'll be looking back at round 1 of the PWR. We'll be heading into the Saracens camp to talk to Jess Breach and coach Alex Austerberry. We'll also be bringing you a BUCS roundup with Cardiff University's Zoë Dare. Before we get into this episode, if you'll listen to this on Spotify, make sure you head over to Instagram to catch up on all our content from the weekend's game at Bristol Bears against Sale with post-match interviews from Dave Ward and Abby Ward, and also make sure you follow us on Instagram so you see the content we produce throughout the season. If you listen to this on Instagram or YouTube, make sure you head over to Spotify to listen to this on the go, download that podcast, and also give us a rating on Spotify as well. If you've done all that, let's get into this episode. It was a great start to the PWR season at the weekend. And like I said earlier, we were at Ashton Gate for Bristol Bears against Sale Sharks, where they won 48-5. With scoreline kind of being a little bit harsh on the Sharks, but Bristol were very good in that game. We'll be going into a little bit more detail on the games, kind of a summary of points that I've written down for the opening 4 games. Elsewhere, Saracens beat Loughborough also on Saturday, 48-7. Trailfinders lost at home in their first game, 22-17 to Harlequins. A really tight game then, I think really impressive performance from the Trailfinders. And finally, on Sunday, Exeter Chiefs travelled up to Matty Holywood's Welford Road and beat Leicester Tigers. I think that was a lot closer than anybody was expecting up until the last couple of minutes. Chiefs ended up 44-27 winners there. But to go into the game that we were at first, and also a couple of other points from other games, I think Bristol were very, very good on Saturday. There's no taking away from them there. In the back line, Amber Reid, Phoebe Murray in the centre are outstanding, with Holly Aitchison just looking already comfortable in that Bears 10 shirt. In the pack, Gabrielle Negrelli, the number 8, who's we've talked about her before on the podcast as kind of a kicking talent from a number 8, which still amazes me. But she was brilliant on Saturday for Bristol. Her strength and speed just really shines in that pack. When you have people like Alicia Butchers and Manon Jones in that back row, the offloading and the tackling they do allows Gabriella to run freely and hard into gaps and create a lot of space. Also, Lucy Burgess at 9, brilliant, scored a great try. But the story of that game was Abby Ward's return from giving the birth just 17 weeks ago to her baby Hallie. It was just brilliant to see her back coming out on the pitch with the baby. Spoke to Dave after, it was an emotional day for the family, but also Abby coming up with a try on her return. I think it's just great to see that this is now a possibility for the women in the PWR, because Abby said in her post-match that it's not been possible before. She could never have seen this being possible. But now the introduction of those maternity contracts for the Red Roses, it's now possible, and it shows that you can do that and return to the highest level. And that's what Abby wants to do now. She wants to return to play for the Red Roses as well. So that'd be great to see, because I'm sure that will happen in the future. But to touch on the Sharks, I think it was a tough game. It's a really tough opener for them. If you look at the Bristol team, that pack, all but one of them had England cap, all but one of them had international caps, and that was Gabriella Negrelli, the one who hasn't. In a full Red Roses front 5, a Red Rose at 10. It's just stacked full of international talent. So it's always going to be a tough opener at Ashton Gate as well. But there are lots of positive signs for Sale, actually. I think Sarah Tunesi in the second row partnered alongside Iona Antwis. Very impressive. Sarah Tunesi's tackling is just monumental. So many just massive hits as well, just stopping players in their tracks and coming out of the line. Speed kind of really helped the Sharks. Iona Antwis was again very good next to her in the second row. Rachel McLaughlin again at the back row was always shone the Sharks. Her tackling, ruck speed, and just kind of all-round niggliness that gets him so far in games. Heading into the backs, Laura Perry, we've all seen that shot on Lucy Burgess, massive hit. You could kind of feel the gasps in the press box during that tackle, and I think it's something we want to see more of in the women's game. And also the big one in that Sharks team, Beatrice Rigoni, she is a superstar, and it's what this league need is those superstars. I think I said to a couple of people after the game, you can see what she's trying to do, and you can see once that switch flicks, in the rest of the Sharks backline, and then they'll be able to see and read what she's doing. The Sharks are going to be so good to watch, because there are even little moments of Rigoni magic not quite picked up on yet, but when they do get picked up on and people learn how to play off her, they're going to be outstanding. And she did come away with a well-deserved try there as well. Just a couple of other points from those games, the opening games. Sophie de Gurdy back with a bang for Saracens. I think we mentioned with Rigoni, it's so important to have these stars in your league, not just Red Roses stars. The likes of de Gurdy, now Beatrice Rigoni, Kate Zachary, Hope Rogers, people like that just bring fans in, but also keep fans in. If you see Sophie Dare scoring tries, kicking goals, you're going to want to come back to Saracens. You see Beatrice playing well for Sale, you're going to want to go to the core pack. It's just little things like that is what brings people into the game. And once you're in the game, I've said it so much. Once you watch a game of women's rugby, you're not going to want to go away again. You'll want to stay and you'll want to come back for more. And finally, just a final point from the PWR before we head into talk to Jess Breach and Alex Austerberry of Saracens. Just Meg Jones shining for Leicester Tigers, back in the PWR, back playing domestic 15s rugby. She's looked so good on the seven stage. She looked so good for England across those warm-ups and during WXV. And she's back shining for Leicester Tigers, scoring a great try as well. It's really good to see Meg back, and it's really interesting to see how she's going to play this season. Obviously, her aspirations are Paris 2024 and the World Cup. So there's going to be a lot of time split between the two. So I can't wait to see more of her in the PWR in the Leicester Tigers shirt. Just how happy are you with the kind of the start last week and with everybody coming back and obviously all the Red Roses coming back in, your new signing, just how happy are you with everything that went on?
Yeah, look, it's always difficult integrating a lot of new people that have not been in during pre-season. To hit the ground with a performance like that and some of the real character display, particularly when we're under the pump after the first 10 minutes or so, and then the defensive display in the second half, absolutely fantastic. What I would say as well, look, it's not just Saturday's game; it's the entirety of the cup run. There's a lot of hard work going behind the scenes. So really pleased with where we're at the moment. It's only the start of the season, but we've given ourselves a real good platform to launch off, and we continued that with the start of the league on Saturday, and really happy with how the players came back in and hit the ground running. So yeah, it is the start of something. No point getting too carried away, but it was a very good start, and from that we can build positively for sure.
And obviously somebody like Sophie Dare coming in, one of the superstars of the women's game. Just how nice to have her on your side. Obviously you've had her there at Saracens before, but how nice is to have her back in the Saracens shirt?
Yeah, and look, she was fantastic in her first spell with us, and then the last couple of years, she's shown just how much quality she's got, how she's grown and developed, and we're really excited about having her back, for this season and beyond, and what she can achieve. I think that the big thing with Sophie and a lot of the players in the group, it's they're unbelievably talented, but they want to get better, and that's a real driving force for us and for our group of players. If everyone's pushing each other, you can get to some pretty special heights, and Sophie will be key in that as well.
Obviously, it wasn't just those internationals coming back in. Obviously, you had Amelia McDougall at 10. Was it her first start at the first Prem start?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just how happy are you with her and kind of bringing that talent through the pathways?
Yeah, for credit to Neve and to Lewis and the people within the pathway, and ultimately credit to Amelia herself. She's established herself within a pretty tough group. She performed real well in the preparation for the cup. Got a little bit of a hip issue, just that which curtailed some of her involvement there. Bounced back, and to step in to your debut at home in front of a decent crowd against a very good opposition, and play pretty well. There's lots of learnings for her, but for an 18-year-old in this league, across any position, particularly like a decision-making position like 10, it's testament to her as a person. But like I say, it's only the start of her journey, so it's going to be really exciting to see how she can develop. And I think people like Jess are alongside her, Zoe's, Bridges. There's a lot of experience in that back line that can really help accelerate her learning, and we got a lot of learning from the weekend from her personally, and it'll be exciting to see how we can take that forward. But having an 18-year-old come in and play like that is a fantastic credit to her, but also a fantastic boost to us. It's we had Chloe Flanagan who's made the step up as well. So I had to see that youngster where you're not quite sure, you've got a lot of faith in them, but you're not quite sure how long that time will take. Is it going to be a quick acceleration through? Is it going to take a bit longer? Is it going to go out on loan? Both of those are dual registered Old Albanians. To see them make that step up so quickly, it is brilliant.
And just a couple of quick ones for Jess. Just obviously back in a Saracens shirt, straight on the score sheet. Just how happy are you with kind of being back in the country and being back in a Saracens shirt?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty exciting. I think it was nice to go back to New Zealand and then come back to Sarries. I think this time last year was different. I was coming to a different club, so I didn't know anyone. So this year it was definitely a lot better, and I think everyone was just really excited to get back training and playing together. Like Alex said, we've got a really good group of girls here, and I think everyone's just excited about what we can achieve this year and how can we get better from where we left off last year.
Was it difficult to kind of come back in? Obviously, I think you only had a week back in camp before the first game after WXV. Was it kind of difficult to integrate back in, or did you kind of no hangover from WXV?
Not really. I think we had 2 weeks with our clubs throughout the pre-season process. So I think actually that really helped, which was different from last year. So you could get the basis of where, we wanted to play and what sort of areas we wanted to improve on from last year. And then I think, it's just building blocks. Like Alex said, there's still lots of improvements from that first game. We didn't have the most fantastic start. Getting 2 yellows isn't, what anyone really wants. So I think that was, the week was really good. But we obviously have a lot more to give and a lot more to go with, obviously only being the first game.
And obviously, we saw the start of the new TNT deal at the weekend with the Bristol Sale game. I'm not sure if you had any chance to kind of watch the coverage at all, but just how important for you as a player is that kind of TV deal for the growth of the game? Obviously, we see in WSL, Old Trafford had nearly 45,000 people watching just a domestic game. Just how important is it to be seen for the growth of the game?
Yeah, I think it's really important. I think the more we're out there, the more people that can see us, the more girls and boys want to get into rugby. So I think, it's really important. And I think, the club did really well to get a record for the first opening game that we've done for this season. So I think that's really important. And if we keep kicking on with that, people are going to come to our games or other people's games. And I think, it's really important. We had a tournament here before the game, a girls tournament, and you can just see how much. Why did there was just balloons? That was weird.
No idea.
Did you see that?
No.
There was
I saw it though, don't worry.
So I think that's really important, and they really enjoyed it, and I think it's what you want to do. You want to give back to the game. If that's how we can do it by growing it, then that's really good.
Perfect. Cheers, both. Thank you. Moving on to part 3 of this week's podcast, and just our BUCS roundup. We're going to be talking to Cardiff University Zoë Dare in a minute, but just to first of all talk through kind of what's happened in recent weeks. Obviously, we didn't have a BUCS roundup last week because of the PWR special, but last week's results, week 8 of fixtures, not round 8, because not everybody plays the same amount of games, as we've talked about before, the frustration of that. But last week's results, 3 games, a couple of 2 quite big results, with Hartpury beating Edinburgh 69-7 and Cardiff Met going away to Durham winning 67-7. But the final result of that was Cardiff losing narrowly at home to Loughborough 32-21. And just look at the table, Cardiff Met do still sit top, but they have played 7 games on 25 points. Hartpury and Loughborough massively closing that gap now, both played 5. Hartpury on 21, Loughborough on 20. Exeter sitting 4th, having only played 4 games on 17 points. Edinburgh in 5th played 6 on 13 points. Durham in 6th played 5 on 5 points, and Cardiff in 6th on 3 points. A couple of games this weekend. Obviously, Loughborough travel up to Edinburgh, and also the big one that we'll be having a little bit more of a look at as we speak to Zoe is Cardiff take on Durham. Durham won the reverse of that fixture earlier this season, so Cardiff are going to be looking for a bit of revenge there. It's at Cardiff, it's a double header with their men's team, so it's going to be a really exciting day for Cardiff University. It's their first season in the BUCS Women's National League, so really excited to be talking to Zoe. So let's get into that chat now. So just Zoe, first of all, thank you so much for chatting to us today. Just can you kind of briefly introduce to who you are and kind of what your role is within the Cardiff Uni team, please?
Yeah, so I'm Zoe. I'm Cardiff Uni Ladies Rugby Women's captain. Yeah, that's it pretty much.
Obviously, it's been a kind of a difficult start to the season, the first season at this level. Just how have you kind of managed to motivate the team and keep the team's emotions high and motivation high kind of heading throughout the season?
I mean, for me, the team are so close. Like, we've got such a good bond. The atmosphere has been amazing. It hasn't really fallen to me to motivate anyone. We're all so motivated within ourselves, and it's been a super rewarding few weeks in this new league, regardless of what's been on the score sheets. Yeah, it's been super rewarding. So I think that's just kept everyone going, and just the team atmosphere itself.
And I kind of mentioned it was a first season at this level, but how proud does it make you to kind of captain a side in such kind of illustrious league?
Yeah, I'm so incredibly proud. I I mean, it's hard to really describe what this season's meant to me, and what being part of this club is to me. Yeah, I'm just immensely proud.
What year is it with the team for yourself?
This is my third and final year. Yeah.
Does that
So
kind
my
of
third season.
okay, sorry. Does that kind of
No, sorry, I was just gonna say
being the third season, does that kind of make it more special to lead the team out?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this third and final year, yeah, it means a lot to me. Having worked to get to this position in this league, it's been everything we've wanted for the last 3 years. So to be here now and to be leading the team is, yeah, I'm really, really proud, and it's really special.
And just kind of what does a weekly schedule look like for yourselves training? Obviously, you see some of the teams have quite extensive schedules with in and around how their kind of elite players train. Just what does your weekly schedule look like?
Yeah, so we have on a Monday we have a strength and conditioning session early in the morning, and then Friday night we have a late training session, so an hour and a half on pitch session, and then Tuesdays we have a mobility session, and we play Wednesdays. Thursdays is a rest day for us, and then Friday morning we have strength and conditioning. We have an optional recovery session Friday lunchtime, and then a Friday night on pitch training session, and then we have weekends off.
And obviously, if Durham for yourselves tomorrow, just you've only played them once a season, it was kind of a tight game. Just what have you kind of learned from that and taken into the game tomorrow?
Ooh, lots of things. I think it was hard. Durham's always a hard game, to go up there. So far, we didn't perform to our standards in the first half. We just didn't come out ready. So I think we've got to step up tomorrow, take responsibility, and be ready to perform. Hopefully on the home ground, we'll have a little bit of an advantage, which is always nice. And yeah, just I think there was a few crucial missed opportunities in that game. So it's just performing when it counts, really, for us.
And just how special is it to be playing in this league when you kind of look in the past and the talent it's produced? Like, if you look at the Red Roses squad who were out in WXV, there's people like Sophie Bridget, Emma Singh, who've come through this league so recently. Just how special it for you to be playing within the league?
Yeah, it's absolutely huge. I mean, every single one of us, we say it week in, week out, we say it. We're so proud to wear our shirts. And yeah, we really appreciate the opportunity and recognise what this is for everyone on the team and for all the girls playing. Yeah, it's super important to be able to look up and see that this is where some of these international players have come from. So yeah, it's really inspiring for us.
And it's even kind of still coming from currently, if you look at the Edinburgh team, obviously still a couple of Scottish internationals in that side as well, isn't there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So to be playing at that level, we've really noticed the step up this year, in terms of skill, physicality, professionalism. Everything has been a step up this year, which we're really enjoying. Yeah.
And despite the results, obviously that's slightly disappointing, but just how much do you feel the quality of the opposition is developing yourself, but also as a team? Kind of how important is that development as a pathway? Because BUCS is a pathway going into high levels. So how important is that for yourself?
Yeah, I mean, looking back into to the start of the season, there's not been a single week where we haven't stepped up and performed better than the week before. So yeah, it has been tough, but it's also, like I said before, it's been really rewarding. And that challenge has been really, really crucial for us in our development as a team, but also personal development for the individual players themselves.
And just finally, what are the kind of aims for the team this season, but also for yourself personally, kind of on the pitch with Cardiff, but also kind of away from Cardiff and heading towards a future rugby career?
Yeah, so I mean, from a team perspective, tomorrow the Durham game is a game we really looking to target. We're hoping to take away a win, and we'll do everything we need to make that happen tomorrow. Going forward, yeah, it's just improving every game, making those score lines better every game, looking to get some wins. For me personally, going into next season, I'm looking to, I'd like to get involved with a Prem setup. So yeah, I'm trying to work a few things out with that at the moment, make some plans when I leave, whether that's staying in the UK or potentially going abroad. Lots of things I'm looking into, but I think a rugby focused next few years that's my plan.
Perfect. So best of luck for tomorrow and best of luck for the rest of the season as well.
Thank you very much, and nice to speak to you.